Hey man, I wanted to jump on here real quick and talk about something. Interpersonal relationships, right? Interpersonal relationships when it comes to man to man, I think is extremely important, right? Especially to our kids, right? Women on a consistent basis have their children around other women. If they have a daughter, they definitely have their daughter around other ladies, and even if they have a son, their son sees their mother interacting with other women. I think it's very important that your children see you interact with other men on a consistent basis, right? I think that if you are making sure that your kids see how you develop relationships with other men, right? How you talk to other men, how you deal with other men, how you socialize with other men, right? They don't grow up a lot of times not knowing how to have those relationships with each other, right? Sometimes they are nervous because they didn't grow up understanding how to deal with other men. Making sure that they understand how to cultivate relationships with another man, right? Not just taking them to the barbershop, because we can always take them to the barbershop, right? But do you have male friends, right? Do you have male friends that they can see how you interact? Do you go out to dinner with those male friends, right? Not just drinking, but how often do they see you interact with other men that are positive role models, right? That they see them married and they got other kids and they see them hanging out with their kids. I have I have really I've been blessed to have some really good people in my life, right? And they're all married. I'm I'm the only single man, right? But with that being said, every single one of those men that I know, right, are positive role models to their kids. They positive, and they bring their kids around other men. They bring their daughters around other men, right? Because they want to see them how they cultivate those relationships. And I think it's important how a daughter sees how her father, right, interacts with other men, how he talks to other men. And she's not afraid or intimidated to be around that circle of men because she see it every single day, how her father talks and communicate. Same thing with a young boy. A young boy learns how to dap up another man, right? He learns how to talk. He understands how to be in that circle of men without feeling intimidated or shame or whatever the case may be. He understands how to talk, when to be quiet, right? All of those different things. Those little secrecies, I think is the word that I'm trying to say. All those little different things that a young boy and a young girl need to see about relationships. And I think it's important that we as men surround our children around men as far as keeping them understanding the dynamics of relationships. I'm part of an organization, a fraternity, right? And I remember one of the best pieces of advice that an old head frat brother of mine told me, right? I was taking my daughter over to his house, right? And now I must admit, my frat brother, 30 some years ago, about 25 years ago, he was young, he smoked, and he drunk. And at that time I didn't do any smoking or anything like that, but I took my daughter over there, right? Now, my assumption that, once I bring my daughter over there, he probably wouldn't blaze up like he did, right? Although I was wrong. The lesson that I learned from this, and this is the lesson that he told me. He said, you can't tell another person how to dictate what goes on in their house. If I'm a blazer, I'm going to blaze regardless, right? It's not my responsibility to raise your child. It's your responsibility. You are the example that she is supposed to see. Not what she sees in my house, but what she sees in your house, right? So what I did with her after we got out of the house, she said, Dad, I thought you told me that you didn't want me to do the thing that you saw in that. I said, Bree, the lesson is that what you can't control what other people do in their home. The example that I want you to see and live is what you see in my home, right? So understanding that you are the first example that they must see, right? But surrounding them around other people, right, is very important so they can see the interaction of everything. And every situation ain't going to be the right situation. Every situation isn't going to be good. They might see some bad things. But you as a father, you have to teach those examples. You have to make sure that they see how you live every single day. and how you live every day, the example that you want them to see. But it's important that she see how you interact, or how your son sees how you interact with other men. All right, I just want to jump in here real quick and have that quick conversation. Hey, it's very important that we as men handle interpersonal relationships with one another, man. If you have some friends, man, and you have partners that you hang out with, please, man, don't be afraid or ashamed to bring your kids around, or whatever the reason is. Make sure that they're around your kids. Make sure your kids see them. You know, my friends, they always say, this is Uncle L, you know what I mean? Or all that kind of stuff, because we like brothers. You know, when I see my frat brothers, my line brothers, they see me and everything like that. They be like, hey, Uncle L, you know, kind of thing like that. So they may have little nicknames for you, you know what I mean? Big L or whatever the case may be. But that's because you were able to be around them from the baby up to they 12, 13, 14 years old. And even when they come in adults, they're going to know you because you've been part of their upbringing and part of their family. You're like an extended family member to them. So let's cultivate that relationship between men in general. It don't matter if you're black, white, Chinese, Puerto Rican. Your kids need to see how you develop relationships with the same sex, because it's very important. Your daughter needs to see how you deal with other men. Your son especially needs to see how you deal with other men. Hey, I appreciate your time. Y'all have a blessed day. Please please join my channel. I appreciate you guys. We at 133. If you see this, please continue to like. I appreciate y'all. God bless.